Thanks so much and welcome back. I want to talk to you about evil's foul embrace. Give me a call when you get free. It's an interesting title, isn't it? This title was actually sparked by a woman that I sat with, and she was reminiscing about her very deep regret about how she had behaved at certain points in her life and wanting to reach out to certain people and basically say sorry. And, she shared some really deep thoughts and deep information. And we had a really enlightening conversation just about a simple thing of evil's foul embrace. And what I want you to understand is this, and I don't purport to be the end all, be all of knowledge in this area, but there are just certain things that I speak with confidence and authority, not because I've read it, which I have, but because I've lived it, I've seen it, and I've sat with so many hundreds at this point in my career, thousands of people who have been afflicted, affected, and infected by pure, simple, dark influences and evil. And you need to know that there are people walking around out here who are, let's say they're in the driver's seat, but they're not controlling the gear shift. If you catch my drift, evil does require participation. There has to be a willing party, consciously or unconsciously willing for this energy to just live out its diabolical wishes and life force. And I think some people hear that and say, who in their right mind? Who in their right mind would want that? Well, that's the right question to ask, because no one in their right mind and no one in their right spirit, in their upright spirit, would want that. And what evil will do is attack a person when they are weak in certain areas, and those areas can be many. They may be just so debilitated, lonely, and depressed. That'll open you up for these influences. They may be, there may be wounds from the past that just haven't healed. That'll open you up to the influence. Harboring hate and resentment is going to open you wide up. So you have people walking around who are not only wounded and hurt, but they are also being deeply affected by these influences. I see, sometimes you scratch your head and you'll say, but Sheila, I just don't know, that just doesn't make any sense for someone to be that mean and for that cruel. It doesn't make sense unless you just follow the lines of logic. Follow the lines of logic. No one who is upright and in their spirit and living well can do that. You see some of the things going on in the world. You gotta know. You gotta look at that just with a thread of common sense and see that there's more at play. Rational people are drawn to this channel. A rational person can hear what I'm saying and say, yeah, what the woman is saying makes sense. And so in this program, I want to talk about how do you deal with these people who you know it just as plain as the nose on your face. Something's not right. Something's not right. The behavior is not right. There's a cruelty. There may be a callousness. There may be strange things that you're seeing, vibes that you're picking up. What do you do? And the greater you go and the deeper you go into your spirit of discernment, you will be able to discern. You'll be able to discern what is of God and what is not of God. You'll be able to feel that. And so what do you do when there's it's just something is wrong, and Lord knows you don't want to hurt anyone. You don't want to be cruel. But I have to tell you, you never have to be cruel. You never have to be cruel, but I will say you must play a bit of defense out here these days. And when you sense that energy, you just sense something is not right, you need to proceed with caution. And generally, my recommendation is to back up. You can offer prayers. You can offer warmth. You can offer advice. But what you don't want to do is to allow yourself to become so entangled with someone who is in the foul embrace of the enemy. Because I will tell you, the stench will jump off and the smell will just about choke you. Oftentimes, it's not that these individuals, if they were upright and living inside the divine light, many things that they do, they just wouldn't do if that influence was not there. But that is not something that you can wave a magic wand and remove those influences and those behaviors for them. That has to come from a place deep within. And I'm not saying abandon ship or, kick someone completely to the curb in a rude way. I'm saying that you have to be very careful, because when the enemy cannot get to your mind and your spirit directly, certainly other people will be used as a tool and a puppet. So you give yourself permission. When you feel that energy, I want you to have a plan to back up. You don't have to make a lot of noise. I always recommend do it quietly. Do it quietly and do it classy. But back up. Stop spending as much time. It may be someone that you don't even have a friendship or relationship with, and you sense there is just a dark energy. There is something off. There's a cruelty. There's something strange in the behavior. I want you then too, if you can't immediately get yourself out of it, you back away slowly. You back away slowly and you create a plan. But the faster you can get yourself to higher ground, the better off you're going to be. And I will tell you, one of the things that has been very refreshing for my soul is really just to begin to sit with and deeply understand that the things that people do and the things that people say that are not upright, that are not righteous, that are not good and do not yield good fruit, it just doesn't come from a good place. It just doesn't come from a good place. And when you understand that, it's not letting anyone off the hook. It's really a beautiful source of freedom and protection for yourself, because you don't personalize things. You don't personalize things. I've seen people destroy marriages, destroy relationships, go off on perfect strangers. And, 2-3 days later, what have I done? What has occurred? That wasn't me. Well, I'll tell you, you have an obligation. You have an obligation to block all entry points, all doors, all passageways, shore up your life. That is where the will and the responsibility ends and begins. I want you to keep yourself safe. I want you to keep yourself upright. And when you sense that someone is wrapped in evil's foul embrace, you back up, you say a prayer, and then after that you proclaim, call me. Call me when you get set free. Thank you so much. It's been Inspirational Shorts with Sheila. I'll connect with you soon.